one thing that I also wanted to hit is because like a lot of people might see this as like, oh, this guy's an apostate, he's bitter, he hates witnesses, right? But then it's like I come across articles. There's one by is the Atlantic article actually I was looking up earlier that talks about
secret database.
No, what are you talking about?
An Atlantic article on the secret database.
You talking about the child abuse?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't talking about that,
okay.
but we could get into that too. But right now, I was actually talking about like, all right, so people will say like that you're bitter and you're angry at Jehovah's Witnesses, so you're gonna say whatever you want against them, And it's like I'm talking about cults. I'm not even talking about Jehovah's Witnesses. So there are certain.
What was the Atlantic article called?
There are
9 ways to know if you're in a cult.
Seven signs
that you're in a cult.
Okay.
So I wanted to touch up these 7 signs, and it's like it's not targeting Jehovah's Witnesses. It's whatever situation you're in. If you see these signs here, you should think about it. Whether because there are different types of cults. You got gangs. You have just even something that's not a group. I think is a cult. Like
podcast following. Could become a cult.
But sign up, click
subscribe. Hey, if you want to join a cult, you know what I'm saying.
There are healthy cults.
Yeah, 2 stars all the way up.
Charismatic leader can take advantage.
You think I'm charismatic?
You think I'm charismatic?
Hey, I didn't say it now, but even just like an abusive relationship, just one-on-one, just a girl and a guy, it's like this is a similar traits.
But what I say to people who say, you're just hating on Jehovah's Witnesses, I say, I do the work that I do because I care about Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
I think that they are mostly really nice people, and it's because I don't think they deserve to be lied to and exploited that I make this content. I'm sorry that you feel differently and would prefer that they carry on being lied to and exploited. The question is, are they being lied to and exploited or not? And I can prove that they are.
It's like we're not trying to attack anybody individually, right? It's the leadership. It's the structure.
It's the leadership.
It's the leadership.
Well, you think people are finding community in your YouTube channel or in like XJWs are able to congregate together and help each other out? Because I know leaving something like that's got to be tough.
Yeah, it's a little bit fractious, the XJW community, and I'm not even sure I like the word community in that context, because community for me carries all sorts of baggage with like everyone coming together and being on the same page, and that's just never going to happen.
Because that ends up being a circle and going back to the...
It could easily become like a surrogate version of what you've left behind, but I call it a movement, and yes, there's a growing number of Jehovah's Witness activists, YouTube channels, people commenting on Twitter, people commenting on Reddit. There's also the person operating the camera has died.
They call him back right now from his flight.
Yeah.
Where the after party at, man?
Y'all are filming, right?
Yeah, we're filming right now. You're in it, man.
Yeah, you're in it, yeah.
Say what's up.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Nah, go for it, bro. It's cool. Only like 7 people watching. There's like 5 of us here. Hey, don't laugh that hard. It wasn't that funny, all right?
Is it the after party now?
It's in like 30 minutes. I was just gonna make sure you guys had tickets, but just come and find me.
Okay.
We're going.
Thank you.
Cool. We ain't got no tickets though, crash. Alright. Cause ain't no party without us, bro.
Exactly. We
All
bring
right.
alright, you leave me. You leave me hanging.
You're watching the longest interview ever.
First of all, it wasn't an interview. I was here to talk about cults. This guy just wants to take over the whole fucking channel, bro. Alright? You got 100,000 subscribers. We just got to 39. Can you let us live, man?
You're at 39?
We've got 39,000 subscribers.
39.
Oh, 39. Where is Sheila, man?
Now you just being a bully, man. Now you just being a bully, bro.
When did this get agreed?
Alright, so you never had 39? Just 39? Never? You went from 0 to 100,000?
Yeah. Maybe a few minutes.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about the cult-like behaviors, right? Or how to know if you're in a cult. Listening. Number 1 talks about opposing critical thinking. That's clear, obvious, right? I didn't. There was no way I was gonna learn how to think critically in that area. I had to go do it myself, right? So that one's obvious. Number 2 is isolating members and penalizing them for leaving, right? That one you don't even gotta get into it. Like
Yeah, they literally call you guys apostles when you leave. So
apostate.
apostates.
That's triggering. That's triggering him, man.
Oh,
Emphasizing
right.
special doctrines outside of scriptures.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, right.
I actually did a video on this. I did a video where I listed 10 Jehovah's Witness teachings
Where do you think I got the idea from,
that
bro?
are actually unbiblical.
Okay.
So that you can find actual beliefs. Even the word Jehovah isn't in the Bible. In the Bible, you have the 4-letter tetragrammaton, which scholars say the closest possible pronunciation is Yahweh.
Yahweh. Okay, so it's the
So-
same thing as the Jewish.
Even the thing they're calling God isn't in the Bible.
Yeah. Or even something more simple like beards.
I mentioned beards. I think.
Yeah. Number 4 says seeking inappropriate loyalty to their leaders. You think that one's true?
Yeah, because there was the Watchtower in, I'm
San
going to
Diego,
say,
right?
2015 that said if you may receive guidance from the organization that may not make sense from a human standpoint, but you're still to follow it.
You know what? That's true.
And if it, that's just a hop, skip, and a jump away from Jonestown and
yeah,
Kool-Aid.
like that's how it starts.
Yeah.
You know, it could get
Even
to
if
that.
it doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
even if it's not
Believe
rational,
it.
we want you to do it.
Yeah, I remember with the Anthony Morris talk, and then there was a point where he started off like that. He started off like, hey, this is God. So if you got a problem with what I'm gonna say, take it up with him. And it's like, whoa, like you talking about socks, colorful socks and tight pants. I don't think Yahweh's like, bro, what kind? Let me see your socks. So that is an example. Number 5 is dishonoring the family union.
Yeah,
Obvious.
shunning, yeah.
Number 6 is crossing biblical boundaries of behavior.
Well, I'm not sure.
Parentheses versus
I'm not
sexual
sure I
purity.
care that
and
much about
personal-
biblical boundaries of behavior, to be honest.
Yeah,
because I'm not in the habit of stoning homosexuals.
Yeah, or like-
Leviticus 20:13, if you're interested.
Hey, what's the one about the cross? Like you can't wear the 2 different types. Like you can't wear cotton.
Man, it's so many of them.
Cotton
I
denim.
can, that you've just shown that article was written by someone who has a deference to religion.
And this one's, it says separation from the church. I don't even know what.
Probably
But-
just if you leave, there's the consequence. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They do talk about that. That's what that is.
Most of those are the points, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, no. If you leave, there's a consequence. And for because you could read these 7 steps to someone and go, oh my God, yeah, that's totally a cult, and then they're in a cult. It's like listen to what was just said and then try to see if it compares to where you at right now, because it doesn't have to be a religion. There's different forms of cult. Like I think that police officers are cult. I think that
Military's a cult.
Military's a cult. The gangs, Crips and Bloods, a cult, and they do the same thing. Like you can't just go, hey, you know what? Like I've been a Crip for 6 months. I don't think it's working out. For me. You're in Italian mafia, and like, you know what? I don't see myself.
I think I try to use the word cult sparingly for 2 reasons. First of all, it's a problematic word to use with a cult follower.
Yeah,
Because it's an
it's
insult.
triggering. Yeah.
No one likes to be insulted.
Once you say that in an argument, I don't want to hear the rest of the shit you got
So
to say.
it's unhelpful from that point of view, and also if the more you use the word cult to describe various different groups, the more I think it waters it down, because clearly some groups are more cult-like than others. So you could conceivably have, let's say you had a religion that said you need to give money to everyone you see on the street who's poor, okay? And the giant sky watermelon demands it. There's a giant watermelon in the sky that's invisible, and it's a sentient being, and it demands that you do this. So what's going to happen is you're going to start giving lots of money to homeless people because it's your religious belief. And if you have children, you're going to start teaching them that there's a giant invisible watermelon in the sky, which is detrimental to their education because it's not true. So you could, in a way, call that a cult because it's detrimental. But can we really compare that with ISIS or with Scientology or with Jehovah's Witnesses? So
what do you think? You think you compare it or not?
I think there's a spectrum, and I think you have soft cults on one side. I think what I do is I insert the word soft if it's negligible harm, and on the other side I say extreme cults. So soft, extreme. That's how I do it, but that's not how everyone does it.
Now let me ask you something. Are there healthy cults?
Could you have a healthy cult?
Veganism?
Well, if we use those definitions you've just run through, no.
You think it's a healthy cult?
Not with any of those definitions, no.
I mean, I feel like it's more like a club. Like, I think you could be part of a club or part of a team or something like that.
A cult is, I think, by definition, something that you don't want to be.
Yeah.
So what it all hinges on is agency. How much are you in control? If you're not in control of the group of your membership of a group, and if a group is dictating to you, even to the point where you're doing things that you wouldn't freely choose to do yourself, that is not a situation you want to be in any iteration or any context.
That's a good point. Like, the only way it could be healthy is if you were able to decide, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. And then they go, all right, you know what? You've been with us, you're still our friend, and we still look out for you, stuff like that. That would be healthy, but that doesn't happen.
Then by definition, it's not a cult.
Exactly.
If you can just easily walk out the door at any moment without any consequences, then it's not a cult.
That's right. So, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Oh yeah. So all right. Say one day, hypothetically, right, you're able to unconvert, a majority of the Jehovah's Witnesses. What's next? Would you go after Mormons next, or you think it's such a huge problem that it's like a life's work sort of thing?
It fascinates me how many people think Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses are like.
Oh, I mean, it's because
they're like the next door neighbor religion. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not.
They have a lot of difference, but they also have a lot of similarities.
I think that the similarities are mostly aesthetic.
Yeah, I mean, they knock on doors.
The theology is wildly different.
Oh yeah.
But on your question, which is a very good question of
if you slay the dragon,
what would I do if I defeated my nemesis? Well, it's a little bit like saying, what do we do with Afghanistan once the war ends? There's problem solved. The troops have been withdrawn. We're no longer in Afghanistan. Hey, everything's fixed.
Yeah.
I don't quite see it that way. I think that whenever you have a catastrophe, which is what essentially a cult is a slow motion catastrophe that is leaving wreckage in people's lives. And even if the cult were to collapse for whatever reason, let's say they went bankrupt, that wreckage remains. So all of those shattered lives remain. So then it would be a case of how do we pick up the pieces? How do we rebuild? This thing that happened that ended in 2021 or 2022, the impact from it is going to be felt generationally moving forward. So how do we address that, and how do we?
Man, so he's gonna be here for a long time.
I'm here for a while, I'm afraid. Yeah.
All right, but let me ask you this: do you think that it will ever collapse?
I can't say it will collapse. I can only say it's not impossible, given that you have the information age where, as you said earlier, a few moments on Google and the whole thing just collapses. And also, any organisation that can take out loans can go bankrupt. And I think that this organisation has been hemorrhaging quite a lot of money for quite some time. and the model is unsustainable in terms of the slow growth and the stagnation in wealthy countries.
You want to say anything?
Yeah.
Nope. Oh man, I had a good question.
It's just no professionalism. Just get some beliefs. This is what we're dealing with.
Yep.
Viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to what's your podcast called?
2 thumbs all the way up. 1 thumb all the way up right now.
Welcome to this podcast, which I'm now hosting because my interviewer has left.
Yep.
So yeah, what should we talk about?
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's come back now.
Oh man. Oh.
What I missed? Y'all was talking shit?
Yeah, a little bit. Alright. So, do you know any resources that maybe and if someone who's gone out of the Jehovah's Witnesses or something like that who fell on hard times because maybe that was their only support system that they could go to, or like if there's an organization out there that helps people who are disassociated from people who are in religion, like long term like that.
I wish I could say, yeah, call this number or go to this website. But the thing is, and believe me, there are resources. I think that the biggest thing you need when you go through that ordeal is community. You need to know you're not alone. And you have Twitter, you have Reddit, you have social media, you have Facebook, you have all these different areas.
Y'all see this channel, like and subscribe.
Whatever, like, subscribe, comment. But you have lots of resources for bringing people together. When it comes to like the financial side and rebuilding your life, let's say you're disadvantaged because you never went through college or university, and you'd like a scholarship, money for a scholarship. I personally think that because of the size of the organisation and the fact that we're literally talking about thousands of people leaving on a yearly basis, it would be unfeasible to have something that was available to everybody. And if it's not available to everybody, we might as well not have it. That's kind of my attitude. But I would love it if it were possible.
Okay.
But I think there's way too many, from what I've seen, that are exiting and need that sort of help.
So let's I think that every God has the inspiration thing, and maybe we're not alive for that time, but I think the time is taking over inspired. Just like this podcast today, another episode is about cult classics / classic cults. And we mean finally, we're gonna have you back. What are you talking about?
I would like to say that I've enjoyed this.
Better. So, Mario.
Alright, thank you guys for tuning in. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Keep those thumbs all the way up.
Wait, like and subscribe, 2 thumbs all the way up, and also add 100 and 1,000 to the John Cena channel. Get it right? John Cena? Whatever?
Is it still going?
Yeah, it's still going. Just because there's nobody holding the camera. Alright? And if it's not, it's going in spirit. Now let's get to the after party, shall we? Have a couple of drinks. Alright? 2 thumbs all the way up.